Video walk on a Freedom Elite 22 FE. Start in the back. As you can see, there's a backup camera in there. We'll talk more about that when we get into the cab. You do have a ladder. It is a walkable roof. Definitely recommend going up there every once in a while and just checking your roof material and the sealant. That's the only way to keep your warranty on the roof, is proof of regular maintenance. You are have a spot for towing. 7-way on the back of that. It does have an 8,000 pound trailer weight, gross trailer weight, and a 500 pound tongue weight. And as you can see here, an auxiliary braking system may be required. So if you have an Invisibrake, if you're flat towing a car, you need an Invisibrake on it or a supplemental towing system. If you have a tow dolly that has brakes on it, you'll need a brake controller in the Freedom Elite. If you're towing vehicles behind your trailers, but that'd be good for a bike rack, even one of those big racks in the back for extra coolers. Bumper caps come off. It's gonna be the perfect spot to store your sewer hose. This does not come with a sewer hose. That's gonna be a separate purchase. Coming underneath the slide out, you got plenty of storage in here. And right below that is your sewer outlet. Left one's your gray tank. Right one's your black tank. Always recommend doing your black tank first, then doing your gray tank. That'll allow you to flush it out. Use the gray tank water to flush out the black tank water, so you're not carrying around a stinky hose. Come with here, this is where you fill your gas tank up. This is where you do your fresh fill. You fill your onboard fresh tank. I'll show you where the drain is for that. Definitely recommend draining that after every trip. You don't want that tank sitting half full of water for months. It'll start to get stagnant. City water connection. This is where you're going to hook your hose up to and run everything off of city water pressure. You won't need your pump in this case. Right below that, a Santee flush, or I call it a black tank flush. This will allow you to, as you're dumping your black tank, hook a hose up to that, turn that on. There's a little nozzle in the black tank. That'll kind of help flush everything out. 30 amp short cord. Right now we are not plugged in because our outlet is being taken up by that camper out there. But we can do all the demonstration without being plugged in regardless. But this is so you know, this is how long your short cord is. It's 30 amp. Twist this in there. You can even tighten this up. Extra security for that. Set up cable inlet. So if you're going something that provides cable, you can hook it through here. This panel right there is access to your generator. So if you need to perform any maintenance, do any checks you can do that from out here. You can also start and stop your generator from out here. Propane. It's easy to tell. It's got all these stickers on it, and it's the only door on the outside that doesn't lock. Got your gauge there. It's reading full. And then all the way to the left here is on. All the way to the right is off. We will turn this off, actually. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Right above that, water heater. They can be a little finicky when they're stuck in there. There you go, for a while. Go. The only thing you folks will have to do is put your plug in here. 15/16 is the socket size if you'd like to use a socket. Get it started by hand, run it the rest of the way with a wrench. They do make a special wrench you can buy for that. You don't want to over tighten it because it is a nylon plug. Now as soon as you hook up water to it, it'll fill. Once you have the plug in, and you'll be good to go. Definitely recommend draining it after, sorry, I'm shaking around over it. Definitely recommend draining it after every trip. Before you pull that plug to drain it, you want to relieve your pressure. To relieve your pressure, open it shut off all sources of water. Crack that open like this. When water stops squirting out of here, snap that closed, then you can take that plug out. If you neglect to do this first, you're going to get a bath. And then I definitely do recommend cleaning this and this out 4 times a year, every changing of the season. You do not have to have this open to run your water heater. You can run your water heater with this closed. More storage here. Outdoor outlet. It's GFCI protected. All your GFCIs are on the same circuit. If one will trip, they will all trip. Exhaust for your furnace. Make sure you keep it clean. They do make screens to these. They don't recommend you run them with the screens on. And then your fridge, keep it clean in here. Alright, well, that's pretty much it for the outside. I know the outside was quick, but the inside won't be as quick, so we'll go inside and let me turn this fridge off, because since this camper is not plugged in, it's trying to light on gas. Let me turn the gas off, so it's confused. Alright, so first little tidbit of information about that radio. This battery disconnect right there needs to be in the on position for that radio to work. This does, you can flip this over and set it here as a sleeping platform. On the other side of that, there'll be little hooks for your ladder right there, so you can hook your ladder right here, hang it there, and climb up and down. It does have a 500-pound limit up there. Cabs, very simple. Let's start with your radio. Radio is very simple. Home allows you to switch between radio, Sirius. Most of these don't have Sirius in them. They don't even have the module for Sirius XM. So just because it says it on the radio doesn't mean you have it. And sometimes even the ones that do have it, see channel unavailable, does not have that module. But sometimes even the ones that do have it, I mean, Sirius is a paid subscription service. You don't get it if you don't pay for it. And then dual mirror, you can hook your phone up through there. USB, if you have music on a flash drive, you can plug it in through there. Most people don't have music on a flash drive, neither do they do it on an SD card, which you can hook there. You can Bluetooth your phone through here, making it take phone calls. You can Bluetooth your music. So pair your phone to it. Rear camera, you can access your rear cameras, so you can have it set so it's always on. AVN, you can ignore that. You won't use that. And then settings, you can change your settings here. Now, so if you have your radio playing, you go back to the home, you have different zones. Zone 1 is this cab area. So that's what the zone you'd be when you're driving down the road listening to music. Zone 2 is that back area. So, turn zone 2 off. Yeah. So, you will have the ability to listen to music back there as well. It's a good song. Alright, let's turn that off for now. That's pretty much it for your radio. Very simple. Let's turn it off. And then you just push and hold the big volume knob in, turn the radio off. Cruise controls on your steering wheel, very basic, just like a Ford, any Ford, newer Ford, or this isn't a newer Ford steering wheel, but it's a newer Ford dashboard. Just like a Ford box van or a new base model Ford truck. This will drive similar to that. You just have to remember that you're like 20 feet long. Use your mirrors. Have your backup camera on all the time so you can see behind you. Lights for headlights and whatnot. There's no automatic daytime running lights, so they're all off that switch. You have a dimmer for the lights in here as well. That light down there, so you can see it. This says emergency start. That is an emergency start. If your chassis battery, the one that's underneath the hood, is the chassis. If that were to die or be dead for any reason, you can hit that emergency start button, hold it up. What that's going to do is that's going to switch your engine from starting off of your chassis batteries to starting off of your house batteries, which are underneath there, to fire you up and you'd be good to go. A few more things about your chassis and whatnot. Tank meter, if you're below a quarter of a tank, your generator won't fire up. That's a safety feature, so if you're out in the middle of nowhere running off your generator, it can't run you dry and leave you stranded. And then climate controls, they can't make it any more simpler. So very easy to do. Now we're up over here. You can start and stop your generator from here. Hold down stop until that hits up. We won't start it. All right, actually, let's try it. There might not be enough gas in here for it to start. She starts right up. Now that the generator started and went plugged, you can give it a few minutes or a few seconds, and it should switch everything over. When it does, sometimes it takes a few minutes. Sometimes it won't do it until the generator is warmed up. But until now, we will stop that. There we go. See it running off of 110, but we're not plugged in. Your AC can run. You can run pretty much everything off of your generator. Stop that. You can read propane, full, battery. Oh, it must need. Oh, we've been unplugged for a little bit, so we'll plug it back in and get that battery charged back up as soon as we get the chance. It does charge when the battery's plugged in, but you need your battery disconnect to be on for the charge to reach the battery. Then you could do black tank and gray tank. You can turn on and off your water pump, your water heater on gas and electric. You can run them both at once. If you are going to run electric, though, make sure there's water in the water heater. Controls down here for your awning. If the keys are in the ignition, the awning will not work. That's the safety feature. Awning does not stop automatically, nor is it just a one hit of the button and it continues to go. You have to hold it down. Unfortunately, we can't go all the way out because there's a wall there. But when you see that gray tube, you can see how the tube is gray. And then there's going to be a flap that hangs down. Once you see that, you're all the way open. They are adjustable for pitch. You can grab here, pull down to pitch both ends. You can do both ends, you could do one or the other. That's good for if it's raining. You can have water pitch off to the corner rather than all the way along the side. If it starts storming, roll your awning in. It won't automatically do it for you. So you have to be vigilant, be ready to roll it in. And if you roll it in wet, as soon as you get the chance to, roll it back out and let the sun dry it off. Try to get all the water out of there because you don't want it rolled up for a long time with it holding water. Even if you have to wait till you get home, as soon as you get home, roll your awning out because you don't want it holding moisture because next time you open it, it'll be really smelly and there'll be streaks and mold and mildew, and that's a no-go. Controls for your light. Step light does that light right there. Oop, actually, wrong step light. It does a light underneath that step, so if you're drunk and you're stumbling out of here, you're not going to fall. Same thing with those lights. So this switch right here does interior lights. That one on the right will do this light, as well as the one on that step over there. This is very simple to use. Lift up. Locks, all you got to do is lift up again and push these in. It's hard to do. Oh, I'm filming. There we go. Come on in. Your table turns into a bed right here. Flip this over. Push it down. It would go further than that. You'd have to sometimes move these cushions. The table will eventually end up on top of this. Then you use these to lay on top of that to create a platform. Lift it back up. Lock it back over. There we go. TV right here. When you want to bring it out, unscrew these knobs, rotate it out so people in here can watch out there. Well, now it is wired up for your cable and antenna so you can watch out there. But there's your booster, so if you wanted to add like a cable box, that's what this is for. You can see, I don't know if you can see it. There's a green light. There's a button on the other side of this. My fingers on the other side of this. You can see my fingers on it. And using cable, turn that off, and using antenna, turn that on. Up in there is an HDMI switch box. There is no input, but there is outputs. So if you wanted to have a DVD player in here, right, or Blu-ray player or whatnot, plug it into the input of this. See how in is empty? Then you'll be able to watch, split it, so you can watch it. I'll have one DVD player, but be able to watch it on this TV, and then if you have another one installed over there, you can have one installed over there. There's that, as well as another outlet in there for more stuff back there. Charger, USB charger, and a little net so you can have your phones in there for charging and whatnot. Plenty of storage up over here. I want to show you guys where, that bag right there is going to have all your manuals in it. That bag has a curtain in it with Velcro on it. It'll Velcro to this strip right here, that little Velcro tab. This one right there. These ones right there and right there. So you can have a curtain that you put all the way on the inside of this, so no one can peer in at you. Give you some privacy, because these curtains for this top bunk only cover the top portion of it. Microwave, like I said, only works when you're plugged in or running off your generator. Since the generator is off and we're not plugged in, it's not on. Cooktop's very simple. Fold this back and up. All you gotta do is turn that to the flame. Twist your sparker. Since the gas is off, it won't light. But all 3 burners work the same way. You're nice enough. These Furrion ovens are nice enough to have a sparker that works with their pilot, as you can see down in there. All you have to do is turn this to the flame. Push and hold as you're pushing and holding. You twist your sparker. Keep doing that until your pilot is lit. Once the pilot is lit, you can then turn it to on. Good to go. You have a light switch here. It does your knobs and as well as your oven light. As you might have caught a glimpse of earlier, your AC right here, turn to low fan, high fan. No, obviously it's not plugged in, so it's not going to work. High fan, and then low cool and high cool. The fan modes just run the fan portion of this to circulate air. If you want the AC running, turn it to the high cool or low cool. You have a temperature. Blue is cold, warm is the warmest. It does not mean it's red is warm. Does not mean it's heat. Just means it's the warmest the AC will be. If you are going to switch from running from shore power to generator power and you want your AC to be on, the first thing you're going to do is turn your AC off, let it turn all the way off. Then you're going to unplug your camper. Then you're going to start your generator. You're going to wait 30 to 45 seconds for it to warm up. I would even go as far as a minute and a half for your generator to warm up. Then you're okay to turn your AC back on. I hadn't realized that this AC was on already. You don't want to start your generator and then the first thing is your AC turns on. So when we started that generator and the AC kicked on, that's not what you want it to do. That was my mistake. I hadn't realized it was on already. You never want to unplug your camper while your AC is running. Alright, come on up over here. Fridge. Very simple. You have on or off, auto or gas. Since this is unplugged right now and we have it on auto, it's going to want to light on gas anyways. So we will turn it off. Auto is going to default to 110 if it senses it. If not, it's going to automatically switch to running off of propane for you. Unlike a traditional fridge, this will take 8 to 10 hours to get the operating temperature. So keep that in mind. Right down there is your furnace. That's where all your heat comes from. Believe it or not, that will be big enough to heat this up to a ridiculously hot temperature. Outlet USB ports on that side of the slide out. This is your slide out controls. Down is in. Now, so you might think, oh, this has got there's only a foot here and the slide out's 4 feet wide. You got to flip this back over like that. Then you can close your slide out. Spot to mount a TV here. Coax right here. HDMI. This is hooked to that HDMI splitter. So again, if you wanted to have a DVD player, you could. Light for your bedroom, controls for your furnace. All you do is slide it over. That's it. That's your temperature adjustment right there. And your on and off switch. This one down here just gives you an idea of what temperature it currently is inside this unit. So 70 degrees. Bathroom, very simple sink. Light switches. One on the right, one on the left does that fan there, which we want to make sure you crank your lid up when you run. Then you have your shower, hot and cold here too. Alright, so besides that, you got a resettable GFCI outlet in here. This is the one that all the GFCIs are connected to, so if any of them were to get tripped, this is the one you come and hit reset on. Alright. Well, that pretty much, well, a few more things. Sorry, I don't want to end it a little too early. Smoke alarm uses your standard 9-volt batteries. If those start to beep, throw a new 9-volt battery in it. Beep as in like low voltage trips. If it's an alarm, leave. You should have somewhere. Oh, I already showed you your manual. That was in that right there. This panel right here is going to be access to some stuff. That's where your fresh tank fill is. On the other side of that, more than likely, your drain for your fresh tank is going to be behind this panel for number two square bits. There should be a valve. Usually it's a red handle valve or a white pull-up valve to drain your fresh tank. If it's not underneath there, it could easily be underneath this seat, which would be the same feature. Actually, hold on. Someone got wise. I want to show you folks. Let's see if... Nope, it's not underneath here. Yep, I can see the tank right there. So you'll have to unscrew that panel to get to the access to drain it. So I know it may seem a little silly to have to unscrew a panel to get to something, but almost every single fastener in this camper is a number 2 square. So if you can buy yourself a cheap drill with a number 2 square, something you're only going to use to take this panel on enough, you'd be good to go. Alright, well that concludes our... Oh! Silly me. We missed 2 things here, so we're going to cover these 2 things and then we're going to call it quits. This is your battery disconnect. I was telling you about that. If you're storing it plugged in, because you know when it's plugged in, it does charge your batteries. You want this to be on or else the charge won't reach the battery. Turn it off if you don't have any way to plug it in while storing it. You do want it on when you're driving down the road if you want your radio and backup camera to work. Then, this does not have solar, but you have the controller for it and whatnot. This tells you how much voltage is through the lines, 11.9, so we need to get this trailer plugged in for you. But if you do get solar, it's all equipped on the roof, and this is where your monitoring panel for that would be. And then, batteries underneath here. Alright. Well, that concludes the virtual tour of your Freedom Elite 22FE. Hope you found the video informative. Hope you folks enjoy using this trailer a lot. Get a lot of good use out of it. And until next time, goodbye.